Hi guys, right, it's that time has come that we've been working on all week. So just going to do a quick recap to what you guys already know, but you are obviously going to have 10 minutes individually for a pitch. We will be timing you, and you'll be coming out to the center of the front, pitching to everyone, and you have 10 minutes in that time. At the end of your session, there will be a feedback session and maybe a Q&A from Roger and myself and Oliver. And you get that feedback and then we'll change over. So any music and any props, please get them ready. So in order, we have Kin to start with to kick off. King, do you want to come out? Okay, round of applause for Kin to kick off the first presentation, guys.
I am ready.
Hello.
Hello, everyone. Hi. Can I get a raise of hands, everybody in the room who has an elder relative that they're concerned about their health or their well-being? Keep your hands up if you have heard of a 4G picnic. A 4G picnic. Okay, so a 4G picnic. How do I go on to the next slide? A 4G picnic is 4 generations of your family sharing some food in a park with some cute, apparently Asian babies that are having a great time making memories with each other. We've learned a lot about AI over the last couple of days, but I think one of the implications that AI is going to have is going to be in health span, lifespan, depending on which experts and futurists you're listening to. I think the possibilities of us living lives far beyond 100 are not that far away. And for that to happen, we're going to have more and more elderly relatives that we have responsibility for, that are under our duty of care, that we want to create amazing lives with. But there's a problem at the moment. I spoke to my dad pretty much every week in the 2 months before he passed away. And in every conversation, I asked him how he was, and he told me he was fine. I didn't find out how unwell he was until I was standing at his funeral watching his casket get cremated. What we're proposing is a solution to this problem where we don't have the real truth about the well-being of our elderly relatives. AI provides an incredible solution, but the problem that we have here there's pride involved. When I ask my mum how she's doing, she doesn't want to bother me with telling me all of her aches and pains or the fall that she had that she didn't think was a big deal. She wants to know how I am. She wants to know how the weather in Bali is. Health shifts very quietly. There are certain things that happen in an instant, but there are other things, especially as human beings get older, that happen very gradually until they don't. Families find out way too late about things that could have been prevented if they had the data earlier. So our solution leverages technology that's already out there in the wearable market. Companies like Whoop, companies like Aura, and 500 other wearable gadgets that are out there globally to connect to their API, to bring into a central hub that can give families a no-nonsense, once-a-month report on the actual health and well-being of their elder relatives. But it also has the ability, as a wearable, to notice motion detection. So it would be able to tell, just by gravity and speed, if I was to fall over right now, it would know that I'd fallen over, and it could send an immediate alert to next of kin. That's my mum calling. I'm in the middle of a pitch, Mum. Can you say hello to everyone in the room? I didn't plan that, by the way. My mum's not a paid actor in this presentation. As you can see, family is very, very dear to my heart. And I do care about the next generation. If you just come back onto the slides. I think it's on the other window. So how does it work? At the moment, there is a network called Terra that we can tap our technology into. It already exists. It's already active in the marketplace. And it connects through API to 500 different wearable devices that already exist on the market. There's zero adaptation in terms of them needing to buy a new gadget. And our initial market is to go after the existing wearables. The AI intelligence comes from the baseline that's going to come in through all of these feeds coming into us so that we can use data that's already being collected by other companies to create our own unique solution for how families are using these. And the delivery is one plain language update. It's not going to be like, I don't know if any of you ever had your bloods taken recently. You get like a 27-page report that doesn't make any sense to anybody. The market opportunity here, 330 billion market size in global digital health. The remote patient monitoring, so this is more just in care homes and things like that for the elderly. It's not a day-to-day wearable, is 175 billion. And the elder tech care is 22 billion. But it's also attacking the market spend on elderly care. So where children, grandchildren are spending a hell of a lot of money on things that could have been prevented with the right data. And our go-to-market strategy is to first go into the Singapore market because culturally there's already a responsibility, their heavy responsibility on looking after the older generation. There's a high adaptation of tech and there is the disposable income to try something like this. And the business model is a SaaS model. It's a subscription that you pay. The cost per acquisition from our calculations is around about $45 per user. And the spend, to begin with, for the founders is only going to be $30 a month, giving us an LTV to CAC ratio of 25.8, which is insanely high on any business I've ever been a part of. I've never seen anything quite that high. Next slide. And the competition, what they're doing, what we're doing, and what they're not doing. We have products already that exist like Whoop, which is largely for athletes and younger people trying to biohack and get their HRV down and fall asleep in saunas. Then we've got Care Predict, which is more of a healthcare product, which is going over institutions. You can only really get that through hospitals. And then there's Apple Health, which is just for everyone. None of them are really focusing on the family health market with an underlying value of bringing families together. The team are the beautiful people you see standing in front of you. I will come on to the last slide because I know we've got a little bit of time. And our calculations are telling us that to get this off the ground with our initial idea of getting it into Singapore, with this being an APAC launch, Singapore being the flagship, and if it works well in Singapore, then that initially breeds us to go into other markets like Japan and South Korea with more confidence with proof of concept in the Singapore market. We've got a couple minutes left, so I'm going to open that up to any questions on the concept or the number. Oh, we have a little live demo of how it works. I'm going to pass the mic over.
No, you can
I can do it?
So you're calling.
Okay, so I'm calling.
Hey, you have reached Ken. How can I help you today?
Hey, could you give me an update on how my dad is doing?
Of course. May I have your name, please, and your dad's name so I can pull up his latest health data?
Yeah, my name's Ali, and my dad's name is John.
Thanks, Ali. Let me pull up John's latest health data for you. One moment. All right, I've got the update here. John is doing well overall this week. His sleep has been consistent, which is great to see. Activity-wise, he's been moving around at his usual pace today. His heart rate and HRV are both within his normal range, so no concerns there. And there are no alerts flagged by Kin this week. Everything looks good. If you'd like, you could give him a quick call this afternoon. He tends to be most energetic around 3 p.m. his time. Other than that, no action is needed today. Anything else I can help you with?
No, that's great. I'm going to make a note to call him at 3. So that's how the product would work. It would be as simple as that in a live chat, but you would also be given a regular cadence. You could select whether you wanted weekly, daily, or monthly reports, depending on the health conditions that your parents might have. So yeah, we'll open it up for questions, grilling, feedback, anything from the floor.
Well, okay.
Hello. Well, I have to admit, I'm very impressed. I think when you first came up with this idea, I think Shah and I were looking at each other with a little bit of confusion around this idea. But, I mean, I think it's a great idea. But I've got a couple of questions. So how are you going to sell this to the market? Have you got a landing page?
Yes, we have. That's not on the computer that's connected, I don't think, but probably get it up from WhatsApp. Yeah, in Perennial, just go up a bit there, that one.
Phone just for those moments when you haven't heard from her in a while and something feels off. You call, she says she's fine, and you want to believe her. But she's your mom, and she lives alone, and you live somewhere else. You're not worried something dramatic is going to happen. You're worried about the slow stuff, the gradual stuff, the stuff she won't mention because she doesn't want to be a burden. And here's what nobody talks about, that worry shapes your life. You put off the job opportunity. You hesitate before booking the flight. You hold back, just in case. Kin is a small chip, smaller than a coin, that your mom wears on whatever she already wears every day. Her ring, her watch, you don't see it, she barely feels it. And every week you get a plain language report, not medical data.
Yeah, you can
not
pause
numbers,
on the video
just
now.
how she's actually doing.
So yeah, there's a landing page there with all the details about how the founder members can become part of it to build it for the future. With initially, we're wanting to be in 1,000 users in Singapore first to test the data and build it to be able to further the marketing. This is a detailed example of what the output would look like in terms of the report that you'd get every month and what it would track and what it would tell you. Any other questions?
I've got just a quick question.
Yeah.
Just about you were saying it's an implant and it could be attached to anything. Like how is it attached and what size is it?
So there's 2 phases to the launch. In the first phase, we are just using the data that comes in from existing wearables. So that would be the Whoops, the Oura Rings, the Garmin watches, Apple watches, everything like that. And in phase 2, there's a microchip that we would develop once we had past the seed round of funding. So the phase 2 of funding would support production of a microchip that would be like a sticker. And that sticker could be stuck onto the inside of any existing watch. So if your granddad had his favorite Rolex or your mum had her wedding ring that she never takes off, you could just put that sticker on the inside of any jewelry or item that they already wear.
We plan to recruit a CTO to investigate further.
So I have, well, first of all, congrats. This is very cool seeing it all active and even speaking to the chatbot. I think that was great. The things I'm looking at here, I have a question in the context of the market. So obviously, I'm looking at who are the biggest guys and what are they doing. So we mentioned Oura Ring before, and the fact that they're already a $1 billion business, I think is great. And one of the things they do is tracking of elderly in terms of illness and things like that. And while we mentioned Whoop, that's obviously more for the kind of health, like more for the fitness. But Bioformus, I'm just looking at that. I mean, they're actually based in both Boston and Singapore, and it's 100% clinical grade wearable biosensors AI platform for elderly. And because they're based in Singapore, that's interesting. And they're now worth $1.3 billion doing this, AI wearables for the home. But they're tracking more patients who are at home for the doctors, right?
Yeah.
But the fact they've got technology is very interesting. And the third one, which is really interesting, that showed up was actually Neuralink, right? So obviously Elon Musk's Neuralink is now like connecting directly to brain for brain health. So my question on all that is, clearly this is a huge $1 billion market, which is growing very fast. Is your strategy here in this idea to compete with those companies, or can you see yourself collaborating with them in some way? What's your thoughts around that?
I think it would 100% be a collaboration. Our intention, like I said, in phase 2 is one of the big problems with elderly and wearables is the adoption of them actually wearing the wearable. My grandma, we bought her a mobile phone so we could all stay in contact with her, and she leaves it off in the drawer. So I think anything that is behavioral based for the elderly, that is seamless integration. So yeah, we have to sell the product to this generation, and then it's this generation's job to make sure that their mum or their dad or their grandparent actually uses it. So when there is technology like this, like we aren't wedded to it being our chip that goes underneath a ring. If there is a home sensor that can gather all of that data and that technology exists in the future, we will be the first to partner with those companies and leverage it for a solution that actually is designed to bring families closer together and get that data to the next of kin.
Very nice. Thank you very much. Let's give them a round of applause.
Thank you.
Well done, guys. Nice one. Okay, do you want to take your seats? The next one we have is Love Dynamics. Love Dynamics, you want to get yourself on stage? Come and sit down with us. Roger, we're supposed to be a panel.
Yeah. 你要演那个每个层级啊。哦。
So again. 10 minutes. Yeah. Well. Yeah. We'll try.
讲到前面的时候。
Okay, round of applause for Love Dynamics, please, everyone. Hi, guys, give everyone a clap of the hands for Love Dynamics. Bit of support, guys. Come on, bit of support.
Woo! 好吧，开始。Okay. Hello, everyone. We come from Taiwan. Yeah. 好，那我们的这个公司的名字呢，叫做爱情原动力。
We are called Love Dynamics.
OK， 好，那呢，我们呢不是呢，就是大家啊，我们不是不会相处，而是呢，我们爱的层级是不一样的。
The problem is that the problem is not we don't love each other. It's that love comes from different levels.
Yes， 所以呢，大家我想问大家一个问题哦，你有曾经谈过一次恋爱的经验以上的举手？
So hands up if you have been in love more than once in a relationship.
哦，所以大家至少都有经验嘛。OK， 那
So
太好
you
了。
know what I'm talking about. You have some experience.
好，因为呢，当你谈过一次恋爱，你会知道说你分手啊，其实呢，就像那 Roger 讲的嘛，我们不是呢，这个不适合而分手，是我们的层级可能不一样哦，所以呢，导致我们分开，然后找到下一个这个跟你一样层级的人哦。
So you've been in a relationship once at least. So you know after the breakup, you will know that the root cause for that is that because you are at different levels.
OK， 所以呢，我们找到自己的层级非常重要。那虽然呢，我们在做这个交友软体啊，那在做之前呢，我们有做了一个调查哈，可以再
So
往下。
it's very important to know where you are at in terms of your love level.
对，我
So
们
we
呢，
did a market research.
对，那我们呢，在全球啊，大概有50% 的离婚率。哦，然后呢，因为呢，
And the worldwide divorce rate is about 50%.
对，然后因为离婚这件事情呢，损失的这个金钱呢，大概有呢，大概25万左右，平均。
And the risk, financial risk coming out of that divorce is 250,000.
对，然后呢，我们呢，在全球在用这个交友软体，其实有3.5亿人，而呢，大多啊，有87%的人都是不会在一次呢就找到自己的真爱，而是会分手的。
And there are about 350 million people on dating apps, but they will not be able to find the right people.
对，好，那我们再往下哈，所以呢，我们预估啊，这样的一个市场其实非常大的哈，因为光2024年呢，这个交友软体的 那个收益啊，大约有到60亿美元。
So that our estimate is that this is a huge market, very huge potential. And for dating apps, the estimated market value is 6 billion.
那呢有3.5亿的用户，以及呢每3人呢就有1个人就在使用交友软体哦。
With 350 million users, and so that means 1 in 3 people have used a dating app before.
好，那虽然这个市场呢非常非常的大，但是呢我们呢不是要优化交友软体这个平台哦，就像 Roger 说的，我们不是呢要去这个优化车子，我们是要去解决真正塞车的问题。
So our mission is not to create a better dating app. Like Roger has said, we are not trying to create a better vehicle. We are trying to solve the problem of the traffic itself.
对，所以呢，我们做出了一个爱情原动力的光谱测验系统。
So we come up with this test called Love Spectrum.
好，那大家呢可以到 WhatsApp 上面呢，我们已经传连结
So we have
给大家了。
send the link to the WhatsApp group. You can take the test.
哦，你要上一页，我们要一步一步教大家怎么做。
So I'm going to walk you through the steps, and at the same time, you can get into the WhatsApp.
对，然后呢，只要进到我们的这个一页式
So
的
get
销售
inside
售
and
页，
then click on that
好，
landing
右上
page.
角呢就会呢可以呢进到
So
我
you,
们的这
you
个
can
测
switch
验连接了
between。Chinese and English.
好，那我们的测验呢非常的贴心哦，就是有中英文可以翻译的。啊，
So that you can take the test. It's
好。
available in bilingual.
所以呢，大家有空呢，晚一点你就可以测出你的成绩在哪里了哈。
So after the test, you'll be able to find out your level.
好，我们总共呢
After
会
the
有这个
quiz
28题，非常精准的测出你的成绩哈。
So there are 28 questions in total, which will pinpoint exactly where you're at.
好，那让大家看了我们设计出来的这个爱情光谱。好，刚才这个爱情光谱的图，对对啊，这里，OK。好，我们有一个爱情光谱哦。
So this is the left spectrum.
好，那呢，我们呢从红外线开始哦，红外线
So
呢就是
starting from
背叛
infrared.
者。
So it's
只要你
betrayer.
外遇呢，无论你在什么样的层级，瞬间就会掉入红外线。
So if you're so the betrayer at infrared level, you will always betray the other people.
就跟
the other
光谱的
person.
这个红外线是一模一样，无论你在多高的层级，都是有可能瞬间进去的。所以你要非常了解。
So like once you
正确的爱情观念。
betray, you will fall into this. No matter
红外
where
线，
you're
红外
at,
线。
it's like a well spectrum.
对，那红色呢是控制者哦，他是对爱情呢是产生恐惧，他没有那个丰盛的状态，他只有那个恐惧的状态。
For red level, it's the controller. It doesn't have the feeling of love or abundance, so he has the fear of losing. He
所以
wants
会
to
一直控
control.
制对方啊。好，那再来是橙色，橙色是非常委屈牺牲的委屈者。
And for orange level, it's the feeling of feeling abandoned.
对，所以呢，他会呢很内吞的自己的想法不敢表达，然后委屈，然后只是会为了希望维持这段感情呢，自己呢可能承受很多的痛苦。
So they are very willing to sacrifice, but at the same time, they are not courageous enough to tell the truth.
好，那再来是我们的算计者，黄色是算计者。
Then the yellow is the calculator.
好，慢慢越来越好了哈。算计者呢是这个他会呢去计算他的付出，他是有条件的。
So like whatever they give, they want something in return.
对，所以呢在这个过程，它不是一个无条件的付出，所以它其实在过程中也算是有点痛苦的。
So it's not unconditional love. So in this relationship, it's a little bit painful as well.
那再来到我们的绿色，绿色是比较平衡的一个状态，它是一个安逸者。但是关于绿色这个层级呢，它是不会成长的哦，它就是安于这个现况而已。
So for green level, it's the comfortable level, but it won't grow.
好，那再往上呢，到蓝色，他就开始会欣赏对方，然后会看见对方的优点。
So for the blue level, the beholder, they know the exact advantage and they know the merits of the other people.
好，那再来呢是我们的靛色哦，靛色呢是我们的丰盛者哦，就是他在付出呢，他其实是觉得这个丰盛是付出是很无所求的，觉得付出是很开心的，内在有这个丰盛的状态。
For indigo level is the overflowing. So whatever they give, they don't want anything in return. They believe that giving itself is the gift already.
好，那最后就是我们的紫外线，就是我们的灵魂伴侣哦。到这个阶段呢，你就跟他合一了。
So for the ultraviolet is the soul companion. You are 2 in 1.
好，所以呢，我们这个光谱的测验呢，其实我们花了很多的功夫。那甚至呢，它其实跟 Roger 的这个光谱系统呢是非常接近的。哦，然后呢，它除了让你知道你在哪个层级之外，它也有每一个层级你怎么样跳到下一个层级的这个过程呢。
So it's very similar to Roger's wealth spectrum. It has a very clear pathway for you to jump from one level to the other.
OK， 好，就是一样从这个我们的这个地板，然后到那个层级的天花板。
Starting from the ground level all the way to the top.
好，所以呢，来到这边呢，用这个平台最大的一个亮点就是你可以透过这个测试，然后跟你找到呢你同层级的这个 partner。
So the biggest advantage it can offer to the users is that you'll be able to find other people with the same level.
对，好，然后呢，再来呢，就是呢，你除了只是单纯找到自己同层级的这个伴侣之外呢，你还可以学习怎么样让你成为到下一个层级。
So that together with your partner, you'll be able to know how to grow, how to step into the next level together.
好，那呢，这是我们最大的亮点。那其他剩下的呢，这个我们的商业模式就交给我们的 CEO 来跟大家分享一下。
So that's the features of this app. Now we are going to hand over to our CEO to talk about the business model.
好，所以我们跟其他不同的，例如说跟 Tinder 等等交友软件不同的地方在于，我们有一个测验的系统。
The major difference between us and Tinder is that we have this testing
所以
system.
我觉得没有人能够抗拒任何的测验，所以我们会用这个免费的方式让它测验增加我们的客户数量。
So that I believe no one can resist the temptation of a free test.
对。然后呢，如果他想要有这个比较，就是可以长期的做测验的话，我们就$100的方案，这是我们赚钱的方式。
So if they want to take the test multiple times for a long term, and then that's a one-time payment of $100.
对，那如果是$500的话，就是我们会有人工的智能，在他对话的过程中，让他更了解自己，然后还有怎么样前往下一个阶
And
段。
if they pay $500, then along the process we have AI chatbots to guiding them through all the levels.
对，所以这就是我们整个这个我们的商业模式。
So this is our business model in a
好，
nutshell.
那我们来听一下我们的这个 AI 的
Let's have a look at this video.
150 million people globally are using dating apps, and half of marriages still end in divorce. Research shows that 87% of breakups are not due to a lack of love, but because the two people are simply on different frequencies. Most apps tell you how tall the other person is, what they look like, and where they live, but no one ever tells you if you are on the same frequency when it comes to love. Love Dynamics is the world's first dating platform that matches you using the love spectrum. 28 questions to find out your position on the love spectrum, connecting you only with those who truly resonate with you. You don't need to explain, you just know this is right. Take the free test and start now. Not over.
OK， 好。那我们的影片故意做的比较丑一点，跟智障一点，因为这样大家才会有优越感，会愿意进来，绝对不是技术的问题。
All right, it's not technical issue. We intentionally make this video look very bad so that you guys can have a sense of superiority.
OK， 好，所以这就是我们的交友软体以上。
So that's it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I've got a question.
OK.
Fantastic, guys. I saw a chat widget bottom right. Is that a voice chat widget? Is that what if I've got some questions about the site?
如果说要问这个网站可以聊天吗？
文字。
Only text.
A text chat widget. Okay.
文字。
然后跟他说，我刚才原本有，但是不知道为什么，好像在修改的时候就消失了。
Yeah, I think I put it inside, but it just disappeared. Okay, now it's up.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got that. That's great. And have you got any adverts done? Have we got some Polemi ads done?
没有啊，就销售页而已。
Only the landing page.
Okay. Well, look, guys, I think I'm going to pass over to my judges now. But from my perspective, I think the landing page looks beautiful. I really love the love quiz. I think that's a really great widget, something to capture your audience. I think we've got some good pricing. It's good to have 3 different categories of the pricing. I didn't see any social proof on there. It'd be great to see some examples of other people maybe who'd used your app. But what really sold it to me was the performance at the front. I have to say that was what stole my heart. But well done, guys. Fantastic.
If I take this test, where are these results going? If I
第一个我们分不同的方案。
So we have different packages.
如果是免费的方案的话，就是你自己会拥有这个测验的结果。
So if it is a free test, you will get the results.
对，然后我们就是使用交友软体，其实就跟一般的是一样的，就是也是在交友，你不会知道对方的颜色。
Yeah. So like you take the free test, you can only have the test result of your own.
对对对。但我们进阶的方案的话，就是刚刚有提到$100的，就是会知道彼此的成绩，或者我们在配对的时候就会这样去帮你。
But if you are a paid user for like 100, you will be able to know the test results of other people on this dating app.
对，所以我想补充一下，就是其实因为时间的关系，不然我们想要把它做得更完整一些。例如说，像昨天 Roger 有提到嘛，两个人的关系要么就一个往上走，一个往下走嘛。那我觉得这样子的一个不同层级的颜色配对，也会是在我们系统里面的考量之一。
Yeah, and also to add some more detail, because Roger said that there is constantly have these differences between couples. So we want to be able to bridge the gap as well. So we will offer strategies of how these two people can get closer together.
所以透过这个测验，就可以在可能你跟这个人交友软体，在决定要不要聊天之前的时候，就知道说可能跟他聊天不同的层级，我们会遇到什么样的困难，是不是我能够接受的等等。
So like if you see this person's profile on this dating app, you can decide beforehand whether you want to have a deeper conversation with this guy or not. And then if you decide to have this conversation, like what kind of strategies or what kind of things you should keep in mind in order to move to the next level.
所以这也是为什么我们会有一个$500的这个方案，就是让你可以在对话的过程中，它可能会提示你一些自我成长的部分啊等等的。
And that's the reason for this $500 package. So along in the process of the whole conversation, it will give you some tips or some reminders about how you should carry on the conversation.
所以它是有一点，我觉得算是结合了测验、交友软体跟一些教育的功能跟人工智慧在里面的一个全新的商业模式。
So it's actually a combination of a dating app and self-development and consultation.
Yes.
Okay, test. I think it's great. You've taken the idea we're talking about and you took what you were already doing and the fact you created the entire product. And actually the way you've even explained each of the levels and how it links to the vibration is so true, right? And I think my personal feeling is most people when they come here, they're going to go, oh, no wonder it didn't work last time. But also no wonder it's not just about the other person, it was me. Like I myself was acting at a particular level and I keep wanting someone at this level, but then I'm never going to get them if I'm at this level. So the point you're making about like having guidance and so on, giving everyone their own AI love mentor that can actually guide them at the right level, I think is very, very important, right? Like we all know we attract whatever we give out. So if we're at the wrong level, we're just going to attract the wrong people anyway. So, but to get to this speed so fast, I think is amazing. So very well done. That's great. Let's partner together.
可以再给我们一点点时间秀一下我们的结果吗？
Can we have some time to show the test results?
Oh, you got a match already? First wedding? AI
just however enter blah 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 blah. Let me show you the result.
I don't think you meant to do the test that fast.
No, I just want to give you a demo.
对， just demo.
Let's show you the results.
Okay. Yeah, here we have the result. 有图吗？Next. 中文so sorry, we still building. 网路跑不动吗？照片啊，快！ Okay, here is.
It is right.
等一下哦。
Yes.
So if sorry. 按错了。This. 这里。 OK，所以你会有很多不同的数值。
So this is actually the reports.
OK, and this OK. OK, so this is for Jamie.
Jamie is at indigo level.
Yes.
Overflowing.
OK. 放大吗？好，等一下哦。对，反正中文他们也看不懂了。好，只是让你们知道说有这个东西。我们晚点完善了之后，你们再在WhatsApp 里面测试。
Yep. So we are going to make some improvements to this, and then you guys can all take this test on the WhatsApp.
And for free. Thank you. 就这样。好，结束了。
Ready? Yeah? Do you need anything? Gin tonic? Okay, guys, now I'm going to let these guys introduce themselves as their business. But round of applause, bit of support. Well done, guys. Thanks.
Check.
Yeah, I guess we have 2 mics there. Hello, so we are Team Iron Ore, and today we're going to be presenting not just a concept, but a new product that has the power to change the life of every single person in this room and the lives of every single person that they know as well. So it has the power to, well, I'm not going to tell you anymore. Let's just go straight to the video.
The work, and yet every product, gym, the boardroom, or the early morning grind, it's built while you sleep, because that's when your brain heals and rewires itself. Sleep isn't downtime, it's the work, and yet every product ever built has done the same thing. Watched, measured, reported. They leave your brain to figure it out alone. What if we could help your brain sleep better while it's happening? Morphia.ai reads your brain in real time. It delivers precise acoustic signals to amplify what your brain is already doing, not to disturb your sleep, to make it extraordinary. 40 peer-reviewed studies, 20 to 40% memory improvement. The science has existed for decades until now, because you deserve more from the hours you're already giving to sleep. Join the waitlist at Morphia.ai. We believe the most extraordinary version of you isn't built.
So the problem from poor sleep in the US alone is estimated to be $411 billion annually. And most of the devices out there at the moment, the trackers, they are monitoring your sleep. They're not actually enhancing it or intervening in any way. And so that will give you some things that you can do whilst you're awake, but it doesn't actually help anything while you're asleep itself. We spend a third of our lives sleeping. And the sleep tech market is estimated to grow from $16 billion a year to $80 billion a year by 2030. So as we learned in the video, this is not just a concept. The technology exists, and now is a great time. The science exists, and it's over 40 peer-reviewed studies. We can see that sleep actively consolidates memory. It improves memory recall and enables precise timing of intervention. Next slide. So the impact that this can have on society is pretty substantial. So we've got, it can improve the cognitive performance, which we just missed at the beginning of the video, by 20 to 40%. So you can imagine the impact of that globally. If you could enhance your memory by 20 to 40%, think of the applications of that, both for academic studies, research, you're studying for an exam, you want to remember that you've got 20 to 40% improved memory recall. You've got, think about, when we go into phase 2 and 3, where we start looking at more medical applications and treating things like mental health. So things like PTSD, stress and anxiety, all of these things are processed in our brains while we sleep. And enhancing that and intervening at the right times with the proven science can actually help the processing of emotions, memory, and lots of other things. So think about this from a workplace productivity. I mean, purely from an economic point of view in the US, it's $411 billion. So scale that globally, and that could be a huge impact on humanity. Now, what could we do more if humans could think a bit better? We're all focused on getting AI to think better and move faster, but let's work on our human brains as well and improve a third of our lives that we spend sleeping. So this technology has existed in labs, and there are a few early startups that have actually moved away from the commercial and focused in the research side of the market. And it's non-invasive, so it's a device that you wear whilst you sleep, and there are other types of devices. So as you saw in the video, there's a bit of a prototype where we've got a light headband that you would wear. There are other examples of using waves from a pillow or from earbuds, and also patches as well, similar to Kin. Those are less effective. The headband is the best technology that exists today, but that's going to improve and get better as technology advances as well.
Actually, just a little update on that. As we were walking in, we just got a call from our tech guys, and they reduced the size of the headband by 100x. So it actually has changed a bit. Unfortunately, we couldn't get the photo here yet. We're hoping to get that photo by the end of this presentation. So we're hoping to show it to you then. But so the actual photo is actually already shrunk in size, just so you know. So I'm going to move along to the competition. I honestly don't like speaking in front of people, so I'm going to have you speak to our AI assistant and tell you a little bit about our competition. Hello, how are you?
Device, £299 to £499 one time.
All right, well,
Waitlist gets founder pricing. Subscription, £29 starter, £79 pro, £129 elite per month. Annual plans include 2 months free, 30-day money-back guarantee.
Well, that went well. See, this is the thing. This is how crazy the tech's moving. And actually, she just read my mind. She already knew what my question was, and that's where that came from. So. That's how fast we're moving here. Okay, so now, let's go back to the slide real quick. Thank you. We're gonna move on to the competition, and we're gonna go ahead and try again and ask our assistant about the competition. Hey, could you tell us a little bit about the competition of the product and a little bit about what you are?
Morphia.ai is an active sleep intelligence platform. An EEG headband plus an AI that reads your brainwaves in real time and delivers acoustic stimulation during sleep to optimize sleep architecture, reinforce learning, and process emotion. Every other sleep device watches. Morphia acts.
Thank you. Well, we already got she already predicted and read that one, so we're going to go ahead and move forward to the next one. So we have 3 phases, 3 audience, 1 category. First, we're going to target the performers. The performers, these are the biohackers, the high performers. These are who in this room has a Whoop or a watch that follows your health? I do? Yeah. Okay. So we're going to be targeting that market. The main idea behind this, they're already paying around $300 for the product already, plus they're paying a monthly subscription. So we're going to go for the low tier market first. That's going to be, our way to get in is going to be through podcasts. Everyone knows the famous podcasts, so I won't go through the names. Phase 2, we're going to go for the learners. These are the CEOs. These are the students, the people that are learning new languages. Anyone that can appreciate a 20 to 40% ROI on the ability to actually remember the information more. So, and then phase 3, we're going to go to the clinical side. This is going to be the PTSD. the anxiety and the burnout people, all the people in the clinic, anyone that doesn't want to use drugs, non-intrusive and drug-related things to cure some of their problems. And this is going to be the healthcare, the partners with sports teams, stuff along those lines. So as you can see, this isn't just a concept. We have a few things. We have our AI assistant live already. We already have our brand video, and we have an awesome website as well that we've created. Do you want to slide through the website real quick? I won't go through every part because I know we're coming close to our 10 minutes. But as you can see, we went through and we have a lot of information on there that we would love to share with you. So we can send the link in so everyone can check it out. So for the roadmap and summary, our goal is to reach, at global scale, to reach, in about 5 years, to reach 250 million pounds. And yeah, and that is our product. Thank you. Do you have any questions?
Very good, guys. I love it. And the videos just look fantastic, really lifelike. I could honestly not tell that was AI made. So I think my feedback is very well presented. I love the idea. I think your website looks great. It's great we've got all the assets in there. I didn't see pricing. Did we have, how much does this cost?
Yeah. So we do have pricing. That is where the chatbot kind of read my mind. So I didn't think we'd go through it again.
Sure. So we've got 3 price brackets, which is great. And do we build any ads? Have we got any ads we didn't do the ads. Okay, no one's done the ads. Okay, that's all right.
Yeah, like the main ad would be the video. We did have different versions of that video.
Okay.
Probably about 50, because that's how many it took to get a decent one. But yeah.
Just on the pricing, there's also additional scope of selling this to enterprise, so to companies that buy it for their employees to enhance their performance and their cognitive function as well. So, and then you've got other applications like military. You've got other partnership opportunities like Kin. That would be a great one, and also companies like Neuralink and others. There's a couple of other competitors in the market. I mentioned there's one called Dream, DREEM. And they actually decided to not go to the consumer market, but to focus more on the clinical side. And they could be somebody to partner with on the research and various other things. They could take one side of the market, we could take the consumer side. So,
fantastic. Well done, guys. Really, really good presentation. Thank you. I'll pass you over.
I have 2 questions. First one, I'm interested in the process of, because obviously when I last heard about your plan the other day, and it was about kind of like the sales, enablement, etc. And you've moved towards the whole sleep. Just what was the decision making in the team that made you go, you know what, this is going to be the one that we think is right? Was it the market size? Was it the impact you could have, or was it something different?
that's a good question, and I was expecting that one. So the thought process behind that was, after the discussion about the idea, it was don't get caught onto the idea and find the flow. And then after some conversations with Claude, it was, well, what is the real opportunity behind the AI sales coach? And whilst that was a very viable business opportunity, it wasn't 100x to have the global impact that we wanted as a team. And so we then discussed with Claude. We had a couple of other options and ideas that we discussed, and then made the decision that we spend a third of our lives asleep, and so that had a huge potential to impact the lives of everybody and improve the life or improve civilization as a whole, and just make us better humans. And so we decided that was both from an economical point of view, the opportunity is huge, but also from a civilization point of view, it was equally beneficial.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, I mean, there's a lot of people that are willing to buy these sort of devices, track the information, and then, put the effort in. But then there's also this other demographic, which was me maybe 4 or 5 years ago, that, you know, doesn't want to do any of the work and just wants to try to reap the rewards. So what a better way to market it than you just sleep and we do the rest, you know? So it's not like, well, you have to go to the gym and you have to run hard, you know, or you have to read this or you have to read that. It's like, no, you just sleep. We're going to put the technology in your brain. It's somewhat like what Neuralink will maybe eventually get to. But this is the beginning phase of that, yeah.
So yeah, we had a group that came into one of our masters, and they made the point that if you take wellness and you take health and you take fitness in all three areas, they say the number one thing is sleep, but there's almost no effort put into the sleep side. And of course, you know, you sleep, even if you go to the gym every day, you're sleeping, you know, 4 times longer, you know, per day, right, than you'd go to the gym anyway, right, if you sleep 8 hours a night. So. And they were from Seattle, and so they, you know, because everyone's heard of sleepless in Seattle, so we call that sleeping in Seattle. And the whole thing about basically the fact that sleep health is like the #1 growth area, I totally believe in that. One of the things that happened just as you were talking was I looked at the AI sleep market. It's mind-blowing. It's like right now today it's 13.6 billion, and it's predicted by 2035 to be 48 billion. It's like that's a massive, massive industry. Sleep tracker is a part of that. Sleep tech is part of that. But what's interesting is that, you know, as you were talking about things, we already talked about Aura, you already talked about things like sleep. What's very interesting was I did ask a question, which was, obviously, you know, there's huge apps like Calm that, you know, have basically like the bedtime stories, the meditation, all these different things, which people use in the many, many, many millions. And so my question was, well, does Calm have any kind of EEG or anything like that? And it says, no, that's where the big opportunity is. You've either got, you know, the apps and the things that are actually giving you the tools and the music and the things that actually make you you know, go to sleep and lower your stress levels. Then you've got the ones that measure it, and there isn't yet any very good connection between the two, which of course is a huge opportunity, because if you actually link something to Calm as the app, anyone who's got Calm you could just retarget all of them, advertise to all of them, and say, get now, you know, and you could partner with them or just do it on your own and link to it as well. So that's really my question, I guess, like with the whole tracking and how you can help improve by measuring, is there at any point the thought around how you bring in the proactive science around sleep?
Yeah, so as I say, there's 40 studies backing the science, so the science is proven, peer-reviewed studies. Calm would be a very obvious and it'd be a great partner to have, to approach them with a product and say, let's partner together. And obviously, they're all about improving the quality of sleep as well. There's one competitor in the market, I think, which launched this year. And so they only launched 3 months ago in January, called LumiMind, which is the one that I found. And they are the only one that's doing the commercial sleep intervention or enhancement with the products, but absolutely opportunities to use the science. I think LumiMind or Dream, they're working with Harvard and Imperial College researchers and scientists in their companies. So, yeah.
Great. Good. You have a question, or we good?
No, my last thing, I think you answered it, was just the size of the headband in terms of comfortability. I think it's, you know, if you're sleeping, it's obviously a little bit chunky. Could you do that as a wristband, or does it have to be around your head? Could you do on the ankle?
It has to be a headband because it's ultrasound going into the
right.
EEG waves going into your mind. But I wouldn't say that's any different to somebody with a sleep mask. There's lots of people that wear sleep masks, and you know, a lot of the design and the prototypes would be around comfort and
sure.
Yeah.
But as I mentioned, we did already solve that.
You did.
The tech side.
The tech guy's done it.
Yeah.
You just haven't uploaded it.
Yeah. So that's already finished.
Great.
It's actually just 2 chips, one on each side. So yes.
Look forward to seeing it. Thanks, guys. That was awesome. Brilliant. Okay, round.
拿烟。Wait a moment。
是打电话来吗？
不是，是你要打电话给他，就是你不在他旁边。
要不是我跟我讲，把他聊天。
Daddy。Uncle Daddy。
帮我跟 I'm busy 刚可沟通。哎，不是我们这样很早，就讲中文。
好。
电影在看吗？开始吗？
Okay, just need one more minute, guys. Okay, round of applause for Youth Link coming up now.
Hello, everybody. Afternoon. My name is Ray. We are Young Link. Okay. Wait a moment. Translation. 好 ，OK。好，问一下 OK 了，我直接开始啊。好，那在今天开始之前
，Before we start，
我们要来体验一件事情。
We are going to experience something.
啊，请各位闭上你的眼睛。
Please close your eyes.
And then 放轻松 ，take it easy.
Relax. Deep breath in.
让你的双手放在你的脚上。
Put your hands on your laps.
让你身体越来越放松。
Relax.
想象一下
，Imagine for a moment.
时间过得很快
，Time passes by so very quickly.
来到了30年后
，It's 30 years later.
30年后你在干嘛呢
？In 30 years, where will you be?
你在哪里呢
？What will you be doing?
你在做些什么呢
？What are you doing at that time?
这些年来，我们学了很多。
After all these years, we have learned a lot.
我们很多跟 AI 的相处。
We have learned to cooperate with AI.
但剩下陪伴我们的又是谁呢
But after that, who are the people there with us?
待会当我数到1的时候
When I say 1,
我们回到了现在。
Let's get back to the present.
重新来检视未来30年，你该如何过你的生活
Let's revisit in these 30 years' time. How are we going to spend our lives?
待会当我数到1的时候
Later, when I say
你可以
1,
打开你的眼睛
you can open your eyes
跟你的隔壁的朋友
and say to someone next to you,
说活得真好
say, it's so good to be alive.
Are you ready?
You ready?
3, 2, 1. Open your eyes. Say,
it's good to be alive.
Yes, yes. 各位大家好
Hello, everyone.
感觉怎么样
How do you feel?
有没有觉得30年后的你有谁陪伴呢
Have you imagined like in 30 years' time, who's there with you?
我们呢是一个来帮助老年陪伴的公司。
We are a company which help people to get through their senior years.
各位想象一个情境
Imagine for a moment.
今天你的爸爸在家里面
Your dad is at home alone.
他的头发已经白了
His hair has all turned gray.
身体有点状况了
And there are some physical conditions.
此时他的女儿打电话给他了
And at this time, his daughter called.
喂 ，Daddy，Daddy。
Hi, Daddy.
你在干嘛？
What are you doing?
哦，你还好吗？
You alright?
你有没有照顾身体？
Are you taking care of yourself?
你有没有去运动？对啊，哎，你不要生病躺在床上，最后死在床上哦。
Don't die.
我跟你讲哦，我这个耶诞节不会回去了。
I'm gonna tell you that this Christmas I won't be coming home.
I'm very busy. I'm sorry, so sorry. Are you okay? Okay, sorry. Bye bye.
是否曾经有过这样的状况
So, is this something familiar to you?
这是多数人老年后的情形
This is the scenario that most people
我们
are going to face when they get old.
不愿意看到30年后的我们
We are not willing to see us in 30 years' time.
有车有房
We got a car, we got a house,
有钱，
we got money,
但却没有了家人。
but we don't have the family members with us.
所以我们需要的是什么？需要的是有人能够陪伴着我们。
So what we truly need is someone there to accompany us.
家人可能在忙，但是有些人可能怎么样？他的身体没死，但是心却已经死了。
Our family members may be busy, so sometimes we are not physically dead, but they are mentally dead already.
所以呢，我们提供了一个很棒的服务，来帮
So
我
we
开电。
offer this excellent service.
可以 ，OK， 回来音乐，哎，他要接那个，
But this matter can be
重来。
changed. How long has it been since someone has talked to you? Loneliness is more harmful to our health than we think, but this matter can be changed. The Blue and Silver Connection arranges a friendly college student each week, specially accompany you, walking, chatting, learning about mobile phones, a fixed person, a true companion. It's not nursing, it's not volunteering, it is a friend who truly knows you and appears every week. The first call is free, 15 minutes, easy chat.
OK， 这个保险哦，是我们现在全球的经济规模。各位都知道吗？全球的老年照护在全世界有1.7兆美元，去年。
So the insurance company, the insurance market is 17 trillion.
那光美国就有4550亿美元。
So for U.S. alone, it's
4550亿美元。
$450 billion.
所以我们今天针对的是在这个过去啊，很多的老年人他没有被陪伴，我们提供了一个陪伴的照护险。
So we are actually offering this as similar to insurance, and which offers companionship to the elderly.
所以呢，上面提到孤独是你最昂贵的隐形风险。
Like it said, loneliness is your policyholder's costliest hidden risk.
那这个保险呢，能做什么？我们会有请到受过培训的大学生。
So what can this insurance do for you?
还有相关科技的医护人员的这种。
We will offer trained and professional medical staff.
所以呢，您只要跟我们的保险公司签一个合约。
So as long as you sign this contract with us.
好，接下来呢，我们就会有大学生来陪着你。
And we have college students.
好，他就会来教我们的老年人
，teaching you and
陪伴他
，giving you a company.
教他手机怎么用？
来教他怎么样用手机
teaching you how to use the cell phone.
教他怎么用 AI
and teaching the person how to use.
我们有一个30年后最新的 AI 叫 Clone Roger.
And we have a Clone Roger app.
所以呢，还教他怎么做。所以呢，这样的老年人呢，他就不怕失智。
So the elderly like this won't have a problem with dementia.
透过陪伴呢，他就可以怎么样预防一些医疗上的问题。
So with this companionship and company, we will be able to prevent a lot of diseases from happening.
2017年呢，美国有一家叫做 Papa 这家公司。
There's a company called Papa in the U.S. in 2017.
他开始跟保险公司合作，
And he partnered up with an
到
insurance
现在
company.
创造了每年有1亿美元的营业收入。
And now it's able to create 100 million.
估值大概是10亿美金。
And now it's the value, the market value is 1 billion.
所以我们今天针对这个市场，而台湾呢，没有人做这个市场。
And no one in Taiwan has yet to develop this market.
在台湾啊，长照上面啊，65岁已经占了人口的20% 以上。
And the people over 65 years old is over 20% of all the population.
在整个台湾哦，去年度整个保险的市场大概有741亿美金的市场。
Okay, there are over 70 billion in market size for insurance.
在这个台湾的长照啊，也有213亿美金的这个市场。
And long-term care is 20 billion.
所以我们主要在做的就是将如何透过保险帮助我们的这种长辈可以有一个陪伴支持。
So we are actually using this insurance service to help the elderly to get support.
好，所以呢，这个就是我们的目标。那我们接下来讲这个合作的方案。
So this is our goal. Now we are going to share with you the options.
好，那每个保险公司的保护大小不一样，所以我们会针对保护的大小来做调整跟安排。
So we have, a different insurance company. They have different numbers of
所以有
insurers.
500以下、500到5000，甚至5000以上的大型保险公司，我们来做不同的报价跟规划。
So we will give different quotations based on the number of users.
好，那这个可以来信任我们的原因，是因为我们透过严格的伙伴审查。
And the reason you can trust that is that we have a very strict calculation and the verification.
还有完整的这个陪伴，也都有相关的保险。
And also we have companionships and all these is insurance.
好，那安全呢？资料安全呢，也有隐私合估规定。
And for data protection, we offer security as well.
好，接下来我们来算怎么样计算这个投保的金额跟回报的金额。
So we are going to calculate the ROI.
上面是我们纳入计划的保护人数。
Okay, so the first column here is the number of.
所以我们可以直接去估计我们的保护人数到多少。
We can calculate like the number of people who buy this insurance.
那第二个是每位保护月均理赔的成本，
And this
平均
is
下来。
the monthly claim per policy holder.
好，那第三个就是跟我们这边来连线，轻连线的每月的保费是多少？
And this is the amount you have to pay.
好，
if
我们
you
有一个
purchase Youth Link
预
monthly
估
fee.
理赔的降低率，大概我们抓15%，然后15%。好，
And for the estimated claim reduction rate is 15%.
所以依照目前现在的状况，保险公司呢，它就可以每月节省上面的金额。
So for that, you can see the estimated results.
好，
This
每
is
月
the
可以帮
amount
他
that we're
省
going
下
to save.
这些费用。
So monthly claim saved is this much.
好
100 billion.
那这些费用的这个省下来，来自于一个老人家他被照顾之后，然后他就不会降低这些疾病以及身体的这种受伤的风险。
So because with this care, companionship, and company, the elderly won't suffer from these potential risks. So it's actually going to help them save the insurance costs.
对，那这个呢是我们这个financial。
This is our financial forecast.
好，财务的预测。好，所以第一年我们预测大概200个客户。
So the
200户。
first year will be 200 paying
好，
members.
到第3年我们来到2500个客户。
By the third year, it will be 2,500.
好，那我们呢？第一年都还在这个亏损期，都还在做累积。到第3年，我们的毛利率就来到了30%，毛利预估会有，这是上面是美金，$630万。哎，是抱歉，是美金是上面的6万美。
Okay, so in the third year, the revenue is going to be
60万。
600,000.
对，所以呢，以上是我们这一组的报告。
So that's it for our presentation.
OK, thank you.
Okay, my first question is similar to the last team. You've moved quite a lot from the original idea of life coaching to now this concept of YouthLink, which is good, but I'm interested in how you made that decision and why this became your best idea.
因为我们认为像 Roger 提到的，这个市场有没有打动我们？对，然后我们上一个想法是没有真正打动我们这一组。
Two things. One thing is that it doesn't exist in Taiwan. And the second thing is that whether the idea can really move us. And the last idea, not that much, but this one does.
对
OK.
那第二个是我们看到了这个市场在台湾是真的没有人做。
Yeah, so no one is doing anything similar in Taiwan.
好，第三个是我们真的预想到我们自己老的时候，孩子们很辛苦，我们也要 需要有一个人能够陪伴着我们。
Yeah, and with all these declining birth rate in Taiwan, we want us to live a better life when we get older. We want people to accompany us.
好，所以我们
Got it. So I think first of all, great you're starting to think this way, and a big part of this whole process this week is seeing how good we become at creating an impact. So just one thing I would just give you as a thought about this, and a quick story, because I think this is very relevant to what we're talking about here. When I started thinking about how do we create education all around the world, I was looking at all the different models. And there's one person who's got some very big videos online. His name is Sugata Mitra. He did some TED Talks as well, where he started with the question, how can you make sure that you solve the problem that everyone wants education? We've got lots of teachers, but the people that need the most schooling, the teachers don't want to go teach there. So in places like India, for example, in the villages, they don't get good schooling. And then he said, well, instead of me trying to get teachers there, I'm going to ask, is it possible to use technology to teach the kids without even a teacher? So he had this whole thing called the hole in the wall program, where he would just make a hole in a wall, put a touchscreen computer that's linked to the internet, and see what happened. And what he found very quickly was that kids were very curious, and they'd come up and they'd start clicking. They started learning things for themselves. And he found out at the end that the way that kids really learn is if they just have three things. Number one, that they have an interesting question that they want to solve. So like who was Archimedes, for example, right? Number two, that in the group, there's at least one person who's usually a student that can help to lead them. So they don't all just kind of get confused, but one person is like, oh, maybe we need to look at this, maybe we need to look at that. And those two things, almost every time, the kids figured out on their own. The third one, which was where they had a problem, was that they found also that what actually made it work was the kids got encouragement, right? Now, usually that would be a teacher saying, oh, well done, or oh, that was great. And they realized it didn't need to be someone that taught them anything. It just needed to be someone that encouraged them. And then when they thought about that, they thought, well, actually, the people that are the best at encouraging are grandmothers. So maybe we can get a grandmother in the village. But usually the grandmothers were busy. But then they realized that in places like England, America, there were lots of grandmothers who would be happy to be encouraging these kids. So they created a whole system all over India, and they created this thing called the granny cloud. And the granny cloud, any granny could basically get on and would then start helping the kids. And what they found by doing that was the grandmothers lived much longer, they were much happier, they actually felt more useful. And the reason I'm telling that story is if you really think about having an impact for the elderly, you can either do it by saying, well, let's just give them a companion, but no meaning, or let's give them meaning, which means instead of us saying the problem is that they're lonely, or the problem is that they're going to go unhealthy because they're on their own, the problem is that they've got wisdom and knowledge and we're not using it, right? That they've got so much to give. And so the reason I share that is when we look online, you'll find that there's many different platforms, like the ones you're talking about. They aren't so successful. So for example, there's one called Papa, where you can have a Papa Pal if you're a dad or a granddad. There are some out there which are called, let me see if I can find it here. Okay, so these are the PAL companionship, the Grandpa PAL platforms. Papa, EIQ, like Milia, these guys have maybe a couple of thousand people. The purpose platforms, where they're actually going to the elderly to be useful and valuable by mentoring, guiding. You've got Be My Eyes, 6 million, like much more. Senior Planet, over 500,000. Granny Cloud, over 500,000. Much bigger. So that's one thing I would definitely recommend, is that I think it's a good idea you have here. But I also think that if you're really going to actually think the value is selling to insurers, what actually is going to make the insurers feel this person is lower risk, you're much more likely to have to go down a path like Kin, where Kin actually tracks their actual health. And then just like with a car, if you're looking after the car, the insurance goes down. If you're looking after your grandparent medically, then your insurance goes down. That makes more sense than just basically the connection. And obviously the final thing is the two of you should definitely partner up together so that you can actually provide the purpose or platform together with the actual medical as well. But outside of that, the fact that you upgraded your thinking so much to what could we do if we could do anything, I think is fantastic, right? So big congratulations for that.
Well done, guys. My only question was just your pricing. Did you manage to look into your pricing? So was it more custom or quote pricing?
Not yet. It's not worked out yet.
Okay.
I see. Yeah.
Well done, guys. I just loved seeing Ray speaking fluent English. I think that's been the highlight of my week. And I think it was also, I loved the realization that not only could Ray speak fluent English, but you could convert your whole site to English. And then that opens up the market, and you're 100xing now your thinking. Just that is I was going to ask, is this widget working? Could we try that out?
可以试试看吗？那个 OK 吗 ？Only text is available.
人不在家，帮我留言一下。
No one's home.
Nobody home. 我靠。
Yeah, I'm currently in Bali, so.
Hello.
There we go.
Thank you for contacting Genius. How can I help you? Hi there. Thanks for calling Genius. Who do I have the... Hi there. Thanks for calling Genius. Who am I speaking with today?
I need some service. I'm interested in the service you offer.
Got it. I'd love to help you with that. First, can I grab your first name to get started?
The name is Jamie.
Thanks, Jamie. And your last name?
Joe. Last
Thanks,
name.
Jamie Joe. What's the best email address for us to send details to?
It's Jamie@GeniusU.
Got it, Jamie. Just to confirm, is your email address jamie@geniusu?
Correct.
Could you clarify if there's a domain like Danik?
Correct.
Or .org at the end?
Correct.
I get it. I think
Thanks,
that's
Jamie. Lastly,
okay. Fantastic, right? And I think that's now you have a speaking video, you have AI talking all languages, and I love the idea. I think we should all go into business together, and we'll take over the baby boom market, right? But well done, guys. Really good.
Test. All right. Thank you very much for that. Everyone, please just have a quick conversation with someone on your table about what was your view, seeing how much everyone achieved in these plans today. Just have a conversation with the person next to you. What did you get from that? Okay. All right. Thank you for sharing. Please give your table a round of applause for sharing. So at this point, we have heard from 4 different teams. We are going to now be doing some voting. So the winning team doesn't come down to just the mentors and what we think. It's going to come down to each of you as well. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put down the 4 here. If we can get our team, Vera, if we get everyone with, we're going to collect afterwards. Everyone's got post-it notes already, right? Okay, so everyone take out 1 post-it note from the middle and have that as your scoring, right? You're going to basically be putting down, everyone just have 1 post-it note. You just need 1 for this because we're going to be collecting that from you. And there's going to be 1, you'll notice, by the way, if we look at the 4 different plans we have here, we have Kin, we have Love Dynamics, we have Morphia. It was Morphia, right? Morph AI would be even cooler, but Morphia is cool. And then we had Youth Link. Okay, well, by the way, this was all in alphabetical order. That's the order you went in, right? K, then L, then M, then
why. So that's how we chose the order. You've got one name to put in your post-it note. Here are the rules. What are you scoring for? You're scoring for which of these did you feel was most compelling and credible. You're like, oh, wow, that could actually happen. And at the same time, is big enough that it will get you very excited. For what? For income? Yeah, for income, but even more for impact. Like which one actually you think, wow, that would be amazing. Like if we actually were to look back a year from now and say, look what actually got created at AI Lab, and you only had one choice, which would it be? And here's the second rule, it can't be your team. Even if you are absolutely sure you had the best one, you can't be scoring yourself. You need to score one of the other three teams. So the real question is, of the other three teams you heard, which one was the one that you got most excited by the income and impact it could have? What you're going to do is you're going to write it, hopefully on the part which has got the sticky bit, because then you're going to fold it in half, and we're going to be collecting it in. It's going to be an anonymous vote, all right? Just one name and not your own team. Go for it. No consulting, do it for yourself. Once you have it, hold on to it. We're coming around and collecting. We have a little basket or something that we're going to collect it with. We'll give you, we'll put some music on. We'll give you 30 seconds to do that. Can we have some music at the back? There we go. Okay, everyone. While we have done the presentations, it's not over yet because we have some very special things happening through this afternoon where we actually go to the next level. And in doing this, I think you're all going to get a better idea as to how do humans link more effectively with all of this AI, and what's the way for us to think about this for ourselves, for your life as you're going forward. Like I mentioned, we got on Monday, Tuesday, our Founders Circle. I know some of you are going to come join us for that as well. That's when we go much, much, much deeper in terms of what it is all about. And what I want to share with you is just a little bit about my own journey to decoding what even is humans. Like especially given the computer code is very, very easy for us to be able to understand the program. It's all down to ones and zeros. But what about humans? How do we actually think about that for ourselves? The best way for me to explain this is to ask you this question. Some of you have had paradigm shifts this week. Some of you in your life know the times you had a quantum leap. We're talking about these times when you're at one point and then you shift and you become something totally different. But what I want to talk about here isn't so much what does quantum leap mean from a life metaphorical point of view, from a personal development point of view. I had a quantum leap. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm actually talking about quantum leap as an actual scientific term that you will find in quantum mechanics. In fact, quantum mechanics gets its name from quantum leap, right? So what is a quantum leap? Like, it happens at the atomic level, and something specific happens there. Some of you have been to Masters where we go into this in detail, right? So if you know the answer, let the rest of the team try and figure it out for themselves. But if this is the first time you're seeing this question, like what is a quantum leap, how would you go about describing it? Pick from the table in a moment, who is the most scientific? Who could explain things in scientific terms in such a way they say, here's what I think a quantum leap is. Where does it actually happen inside an atom? That's a bit of a clue. It happens in an atom with certain particles in that atom. What's really going on that creates this thing called a quantum leap, right? And then we're going to actually just have a discussion about it. I'm going to give you a very short period of time, 1 minute, that's not very long, to figure out whether or not the person who's sharing knows what they're talking about, and whether when you hear it, you're convinced or not that they know what they're talking about. 1 minute, go for it. What is quantum leap? Okay, that's already a minute. Wow, that was very fast. Okay, who is brave enough to share whether or not, in fact, you don't even have to decide. Your team can decide for you. Who was the person who was sharing about quantum leap on each table? Can you put your hand up so I can see? Who was sharing? We're sharing there, here. Were you sharing about quantum leap? You are reading it out. Oh, you are, okay. You're using your AI, okay. You're sharing here? You're okay, so whoever was sharing, right, everyone else just basically figure out on a 0 to 10 scale what that person was saying, how convincing was it, right, on a 0 to 10, right? If you don't know because they didn't say anything, you can say, well, we're not sure. But if you actually said, oh, I think it's an 8 out of 10 or a 6 out of 10. So just have to think about what that score is. Hands up anyone who thinks they've got like at least a 7 or 8 out of 10 on their table. that they know what a quantum leap is. Anybody? 7, 8 out of 10? Okay, these guys do. Right, okay, we'll come to these two to start with. What would you like to share? What is a quantum leap? Let's give them a big round of applause. Big round of applause. Let's give it a go. Who's sharing? You sharing?
Well, I guess I'm reading.
You're reading straight off. Okay, what does it say?
We are downloading the intelligence, of
Downloading
course.
intelligence,
We don't use
good,
our
okay.
own intelligence anymore. So in everyday speech, it means a sudden dramatic breakthrough. But
Okay,
it's
so we're talking about
actually-
scientific, not linguistic, right? We're not
yeah,
talking about metaphor.
it's the opposite of what it means in physics, which is one of science's great ironies, it says. And then it goes on. Electrons in an atom don't exist at just energy. They occupy discrete fixed energy levels. This is one of the core discoveries of quantum mechanics. Energy is quantized, meaning it comes in specific chunks, not a continuous range. What actually is that an electron absorbs energy. It jumps from a lower energy level to a higher one. When it releases energy, it drops back down. That jump means between levels.
Okay, you can
is a
pause.
quantum leap.
Hands up who understands what that means. This is the problem with science, right? It's like connecting an unknown with an unknown is still an unknown. Technically, it's correct, right? But what does it actually mean for us today? Let's see if anyone else has another definition. Anybody? You guys over here thought you had a good definition? Yeah? Now, you're at the last AI lab. You may already know this, right?
对
Yeah, you weren't meant to be sharing. Are you going to share what we shared? But go ahead, share it anyway.
OK。对啊，去年的时候学的，然后我完整的把它记下来了。
Yeah,
在我脑袋里。
last year you talked about it. And
Okay, so
I
you're
can
just going to
still
repeat what
remember
I
it.
said. No, I want original thinking first.
Oh.
I'm going to tell you what I said, but if
Oh.
you're just going to tell me what I
哦
said, then...
那我讲一下我去年听完之后我的
Well,
启
yeah,
发是
what
什么
did you understand from what I said? Let's
OK
start with.
好，那我获得的就是说，我觉得去年的时候，其实我整个 WDM 的课程最兴奋的就是这一段。
Yeah, I have to say that the most exciting part from WDM last year is this part.
对，然后呢，
That's
因为
building up anticipation, isn't it?
对，因为我觉得量子跳跃的概念对我而言比较像是我有一个旧的知识，然后我每次来到那个 Vision Villa 就好像有一个新的知识，它就像两个粒子之间。
So
撞击，对。
it works like what I'm having as old knowledge, and there's interaction with all the new knowledge that I get here.
对，所以就有点像 Roger。
So we're going beyond the scientific explanation now to something else, right?
Uh,
So why don't we
对，
just
不
get
是。
back to the scientific? Do you want to talk about the scientific explanation just because that's what we're talking about here, right?
哦，那我记得啊，就是你说那个 H 的粒子，然后撞在一起之后变 He 嘛。
So that two particles.
Yeah.
Particles.
Yeah, and after they collide, they create another.
Yeah,
one.
inside a circle and it boom to another. Yeah.
Yeah. Poof. Okay.
I remember.
Right, let me explain. Let's give them both a big round of applause for sharing two sides of the same coin. This is what a quantum leap is. If you get that, because like we go through life thinking quantum leaps only happen once in a while. Think of a quantum leap being a chance in a lifetime. It's directly related to time. Why? Because time is related to consciousness. So for example, if you only have one consciousness, which is yours, like your one drop, and you're waiting a whole lifetime for your chance of a lifetime, how many days do you need to wait to get to a chance of a lifetime? Well, let's assume you're very lucky and you live to over 100. Maybe you live to like 110, 120 even. That means you've got 40,000 days that make up a lifetime. So you've got to wait 40,000 days, and sometime in that 40,000 days, you're going to get one chance of a lifetime, one quantum leap, right? If you assume that you're going to get one chance of a lifetime, means one lifetime. Elon Musk has got 400,000 people working for him, even without the AIs. If he has 400,000 people working for him, how many lifetimes does he get to experience every day? 10 lifetimes per day. Because 40,000 is one lifetime, 400,000 is 10 lifetimes. He has 2 chances of a lifetime before breakfast. Like he's just getting all these amazing things happening all the time. If you had the God consciousness of all of humanity, you'd get all of the experiences of humanity every day. Right? So it's like, well, how is that affecting me? Well, if you start thinking, quantum leaps don't just happen once in a while. They happen all the time. So we talk about the lighthouse. And the reason we talk about the lighthouse all week, and we're talking about how do you get to the light? The biggest challenge with science is generally science thinks of everything as a processional effect. What is a processional effect? It's when you basically say, okay, A equals B equals C, one thing moves to another thing, moves to another thing. So as long as you know how to do this, 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 you make money. As long as you do this, you'll be a millionaire, right? It doesn't work that way. If you actually think about what actually is happening in the world today, it usually happens through a precessional effect. That's what Buckminster-Fuller, precessional effect, means it's the ripple effect. You drop the stone, the precessional effect is gravity, but the precessional effect are the ripples, right? And we as humans, we are incredible at these ripples. So quantum leaps are designed to create ripples. Quantum leap happens whenever you have a quantum collision, and I'm going to talk about one specifically which happens in the nucleus, in which two atoms end up fusing together. It's called nuclear fusion, right? There is one nuclear fusion reactor in this solar system where quantum leaps are happening at over 100,000 times per second. It's called our sun. So what's happening in the sun? What's happening in the sun is that you're seeing all of these different hydrogen atoms flying like crazy everywhere, right? And these just one atom, and they're flying like crazy. And once in a while, just because they are colliding into each other at different directions, they just happen to exactly hit each other, one going this way, one going the other way, bang, at exactly the right spot where they fuse together. And when they fuse together, what happens is suddenly those two electrons, one electron in one electron in the other, they bump together and they're now in the same atom. But the problem is that you have these things that you all learnt about when you were at primary school, which were called valence circles or valence levels, right? Which basically means, you've got so many orbiting in one level, so many orbiting in another level. There's only enough space for one to orbit in the closest level, which means the other one has to pop out to the other level straight away, right? So that's exactly what we're saying, is that it's a magical thing that happens where it's not like you could say, oh, I can see it traveling from one level to another level. When the two hydrogen atoms hit together to create what is called a helium atom, the helium atom has now got two electrons, but still just one nucleus. And what happens is you go plop, you got one there, and then plop, one here, and it isn't like you saw, oh, I can see it moving halfway towards that. 1 minute it's here, 1 minute it's there. It's like watching these old movies where you can see the person walking across the stage, but because someone stepped on the actual movie reel and so they had to cut it and stick it back together, I'd be walking along and suddenly I'd go plop, and I'd be over here. It's like, what happened between the two? There was no movement. Because there wasn't. There was just like a flash of time. Suddenly it was over somewhere else, right? And when this happens, the universe has got to make up for this somehow. Because what's happened is that suddenly you've lost all this energy, which means the energy's got to go somewhere. And what it does is the energy goes out at right angles, always at right angles. It's the ripple effect. It goes out as a ripple in something called a quanta. This is where we're all living in this every day, and most of us aren't even aware of it. A quanta is also called something else that we know of, in electromagnetic terms, called a photon. It's light. All light that we see is a result of quantum effects. The light that comes from the sun, the light around us, is because of this quantum effect. It's about a quantum leap having happened. This is called the quantum leap. It then creates this light. It creates this ripple effect. And while you go, okay, well, that's nice to know, but how does that affect me? The reason that affects us is because we ourselves are all trying to get somewhere in life, and we're wondering why it's so difficult to get there. And even learning AI is like, I just got to do these things to learn this thing. And you might actually miss the whole point altogether. So the whole point is the fact that the processional effect, which is I do A, it equals B, is 100% different from the precessional effect, which is the ripples that we're creating. The best example of this is when Buckminster-Fuller talks about honeybees. So he says, look, what happens with honeybees is they have a processional effect that is what drives their lives, right? It's what they think is what they're meant to be doing. So what are they meant to do? They're meant to protect the queen bee. They're meant to go out, get the honey, come back every day. That's all they do. Like, just go to work, come back. So every day they're going out doing this and thinking, oh, I'm doing what I'm meant to do in my life. I'm living my day's work. Then one day, it just might be that one of those honeybees looks up halfway through its work in this beautiful garden and goes, oh my gosh, like, I should be so grateful for the fact that I'm in this incredible garden where I'm so busy just collecting the honey, I keep forgetting to look up. But when I look up, look at these incredible flowers everywhere. Look at this incredible ecosystem of this garden. Look at all these birds that have come in and now are flying around, and the little kind of like bugs and the butterflies, and how amazing that all of this exists here, and I'm so lucky to be a part of this, without ever realizing the only way that that whole garden got there is that the pre-sessional effect of what the honeybee was doing when it went from flower to flower was taking the pollen from flower to flower. The actual point of the honeybee wasn't even collecting the honey, it was creating the garden. The garden wouldn't be there without what it was doing. And so the actual wealth, Buckminster Fuller said this for many years, the wealth that we create is not as a result of us going out looking for wealth. It's like the ball being passed around is not the result of people kicking the ball. It's the result of playing the game. That worth is what is the pre-sessional effect, the pro-sessional effect to wealth. The person that came up with this and said it best was Earl Nightingale. Earl Nightingale, right back in the 1950s, before there was such a thing as personal development, he said, and he said this in a recording, right? You can look at it online. It's called The Stranger's Secret. If you ever watched the movie The Secret, it actually came from The Stranger's Secret. And The Stranger's Secret, most of it was like vibration, like ripples. It's like, no. Like he said, the second half was the ripples happen. But the first half is how do you even create the ripple? And he said, basically, as a insurance manager, he every Friday would be giving a motivational talk to his insurance agents. And this Friday, he was going for a fishing trip. So he actually did a recording, and he left it on the loudspeakers around his insurance company when he went off fishing. And they listened to it, and they were so taken by what it said, they went to the local radio station where the DJ was someone called Conan. And he basically said, wow, this is amazing. I'm going to actually play this for everyone. So it went viral. One of the first things that went viral while he was out fishing. He didn't know about it until he came back on Sunday. And Conan then contacted him and said, look, we got to start a business together. And that's what started Nightingale Conan, which is the beginning of all personal development. But it's because of what he said on there. And what he said was, he said, everyone misunderstands what is success. Everyone thinks success is achieving a goal. He said, success is not achieving a goal. Success is the ongoing pursuit, which means it never finishes. The ongoing pursuit of a worthy cause. If it's not worthy, it's not going to happen. It's easier to change the world than change your socks. It actually is, once you realize that the moment you start changing the world, the ripple effect means the universe starts playing the game with you. And if not, you're on your own. And so that whole idea that when we talk about the lighthouse, because this is the lighthouse. You know, so many people, they're like, oh, like where's the light in the lighthouse? We are living in the lighthouse. This is the lighthouse. When we wake up every day, we're in the dream. The dream is the light. And when you actually go, oh, if I'm going to grow, when I'm talking about going one level, one next level, it's about what is my self-worth? Am I becoming more worthy? Whether it's love dynamics where you're looking for your partner, whether it's wealth dynamics where you're looking for the right business, you only get there when you earn the right, when you are worthy enough to actually earn the prize. And so if you start thinking the way for me to get to wealth is just increase my worth. Don't be a man of success, be a man of worth. That's what Albert Einstein said. And so if you actually say, well, then this is the lighthouse, right? It's actually just continuing to go up and being more worthy, and then the light gets shone. And if you think, well, is there a code to this? And the answer is yes, there is a code, right? I'm going to share a code. This is something that, this is light, by the way, because if you actually start following the light, this is similar to the idea that you can shift out this way to emit, right? The opposite of emit is time. And if you actually start thinking about it in this way, that the more that you're emitting, the more you can slow down time. By the way, in Greek, emit is called apostelos. And they said that there were 12 apostelos. And that became the 12 apostles, right? In French, right, this is entrepreneur, which became known as entrepreneur. So someone who is on a quest of meaning, right? Like, what is your quest? If your quest is your question, what is the quest that I am on? If your question is, what am I going to have for lunch? That's the biggest journey you're going to go on today. If your quest is, how am I going to actually have a $1 billion business that will impact 1 million people? That's a different quest, right? And so you get to choose your journey. But once you have a quest, you say, that's my journey, then entrepreneur is what it is to go on the journey. Once you start the journey, you're on the light. That's called entrepreneur, which is what we mean by an enterprise. So all of this is interlinked, right? That if we get that, we're like, that's why we're actually stepping down the path and going in this direction. If we actually look at that and say, well, if that's time, what about space? I got very interesting at Trinity College, Cambridge. I got very interested in why it was that Isaac Newton, who decoded time. He decoded time by creating a book which was called Optics. Optics was his first book before his book Principia, which is where we get our modern science. But optics was the very first time that you took light, where he would take light and he'd put it through a prism, and it would go into infinite colors. And he was the first to actually say there's 7 colors in total. Not because there are 7, but because he decided to use the chakras to name the colors. And then from there, he basically spent most of his life looking at the soul of man. There's a template of the soul of man. It's called Solomon's Temple. So the actual most accurate diagram of the Solomon's Temple comes from Isaac Newton, which is crazy. It's like, what was he doing interested in this, right? And it was because he had understood that all of the words that we use, like the language we use, now they're saying, look, the language you need for AI is not ones and zeros. The language you need is English or Chinese, is actually using the alphabet. And the reason for that is the alphabet itself is a code. So if you actually look at the code, it's like A, E, I, O, U. That's the code. In fact, if you look at that, it's A, B, C, D is the Holy of Holies in the Solomon's Temple. E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P. There's a code here where you got 44666, R, S, T, and then finally the facade U, V, W, X, Y, Z, right? And the mastery is in the heart. The mastery is the mystery, right? This basically is like once you unlock the mastery, you unlock the mystery in anything that you're actually going to master. But the key thing about Solomon's Temple is how this AEIOU links into this whole story in everything we do, because everything's either constant, just like the stars, or they're moving, which are the vowels. The word vow means promise. So prometia, right? The prometia is to send forth. So this idea of promi, which is the past participle, is like you have sent forth. You have sent forth a light, you are the promise. The idea of a vow being a promise, which just is always there, this actually links directly to the wealth dynamic square. Because when we look at wood, or we look at male or female, this here is the symbol of Mars, this is the symbol of Venus. This became A instead of a triangle, this became E instead of a square. This is the story of Adam and Eve. When we think about something like the trident of Jupiter, which is the I, or the ring of Saturn, which is the O, now we have the I and the O. And in the middle, which is Mercury, right? Mercury is the basis of all alchemy, right? That's the water symbol, it's the flow. How do you get the flow? Through alchemy, right? This became kind of like a kind of squiggle, but it actually became you. So then you go, wait, hang on a second. We're spending all of our time in a world where there is massive, infinite growth in leverage, which is the ones and zeros, which is the binary code, right? AI is the binary code. It's this way, it's that way. The only way to balance that is to actually go this way and this way. That's humanity. That's Adam and Eve. That's us, right? That's the yin and the yang. And the more you go, okay, the more we build values into this, the more we hold together the growth of what's happening here. And you say, well, what's this got to do with money? It has everything to do with money. Because at the end of the day, if you've got I and you've got O and you've got U, money is nothing but an IOU. Right? That's what it is. And once you say, oh, so if I actually think it's not about the money, I think it's not about I deserve, I serve. We're living in a world today where everyone thinks they deserve something. But if you say, no, it's not about deserving, it's about serving, and if I just go out there and serve, then I'm going to be the one surfing the wave, right? This is where the idea that everything that we are is just spectrums of a rainbow, where that rainbow makes up the light. And once you start thinking this way, it's magical, right? Because it means that there's an actual code to how we can be thinking about the world, how we can think about humanity. When we come back after the break, I'm going to be introducing a very special guest who's going to come and join us. That is Eva, my wife, my partner, and also the key person leading Genius Group with me. Eva is there at the back right there. So let's give a big hand to Eva. She's going to be joining us afterwards. And we're going to go a bit deeper into how the moment you actually let this incredible world that we're now moving into, the system, expand, it gives us a chance to expand the ecosystem. And what that is our intuition. What that is our spirit, right? So Eva and I have had, over the last 2 years, the most unbelievable spiritual journey that's happened as a result of everything else growing. And the growth in the business, the growth in what we've done, we'll credit 100% down, not to what we did with AI, but how AI freed up the time for us to actually tune back to source, right? And it's a pretty mind-blowing story. But I want to share it with you because then you're like, oh, we're all on that journey together, right? It's all part of that. But it all comes back to one thing, right? Whether it's our story, whether it's your story, it's all part of the same story. We're here to create the light. And once we get that, then you never, ever see the shadows again. You face the light, the shadows will always be behind you. And so with that, we're going to take a 20-minute break, right? 20-minute break, which means we're going to be back at 20 past. But a big congratulations for everyone on your presentations. And we'll be back in here shortly. Thank you very much, everyone.